My greatest fear as an author is disappointing my readers. Really? I always thought you'd be more afraid about not getting any readers, considering a lot of books never get any readers. Now I am. Like, think about it. If you get no readers, you basically wrote your book for nobody. Okay, I get it. Please stop. Sorry, I was just saying the fear of getting no readers just seems a bit more reasonable. Hello, writers. Patrick Nyland here, and today I'm talking about the fear of no one reading my book and how I've learned to process it. To be honest, this is not a fear that's really bothered me until recently. For the longest time, I've kind of assumed that as long as I write a book, people will read it. In my mind, that just made sense. I'm putting hundreds of hours into writing a book. Of course people are going to want to read it. Then when I started posting side projects on Wattpad, I was hit with a big reality check. Okay, let's see what everyone thought about the last chapter of Welp Now What? And only 7 people read it this week. Maybe the views are wrong? Now, I'm not making this video to complain about views. You guys on YouTube, as well as my TikTok followers and my Instagram, have been super supportive when it comes to reading my work and giving me some feedback. If anything, this most recent chapter of Welp Now What has terrible views because, well, I didn't put out the link enough. But that being said, when I first posted on Wattpad, I thought there would be more results. In particular, I thought there'd be more results when I posted my book, EUROPA. Now, granted, I wrote EUROPA and I challenged to write an entire book in 1 week, so the quality really isn't there. But considering how I vlogged it and I posted it on all 3 of my social media platforms, I thought it would get a little bit more attention, especially from Instagram. And for the record, 379 people checked it out, so that's a lot of people, but it's underwhelming considering how many followers I pushed it out to. And that is when my fear of not being able to find readers began. EUROPA is a free book on Wattpad, so if I can't even get people to take a look at the link to check it out, how am I going to get people to buy a book? In the months after I wrote EUROPA, I kept on wondering what it would be like if no one read my book. Writing a book takes countless hours of work and determination. Is that all for nothing if no one reads it? In the weeks after I wrote EUROPA, I was beginning to feel discouraged. At first, I was just super excited that I actually completed my challenge, but on the other hand, I was disappointed that so little people had seen it. As a content creator, I'm used to content I'm creating flopping. I think some of my early YouTube videos are some of the worst videos on the internet. In fact, the only reason I keep them up is so people can find inspiration from how I've improved over time. With so many flop videos and flop posts, you'd think it wouldn't really bother me not getting the best results on one book, but it really did upset me that EUROPA wasn't getting as many views as I thought it would. And I think the reason it was so tough is that EUROPA took so much time and energy to create. Even though it was a rough draft that I produced in 7 days, all of those ideas were super important to me, and I really poured my soul into writing it the best way I could. I cared about the characters, I cared about the world I built, so seeing nobody take the same interest in it kind of upset me. It really helped me see that there was no guarantee that any of my writing projects were going to succeed. As time has passed since I published EUROPA on Wattpad, I began to learn that it's not all about the views your book gets. Sure, it'd be amazing if I woke up tomorrow and EUROPA had hundreds of thousands of views. However, as I continue to reflect, writing EUROPA was never about getting as many views as possible. It was about challenging myself to finish a book. Sure, part of the challenge was finishing a book in the week, but at the end of the day, the main focus was just getting a project done. When I first started writing EUROPA, there were so many projects that I had abandoned that I just decided that I wanted to stick to a project for 1 week and make sure I finished it no matter what. And even though it's not the best story, I had a great time while I was writing it. The story of EUROPA matters to me. The confidence I gained by putting an unedited story out there for others to read helps me. And that's kind of taught me that even if people don't read my books in the future, it's okay because I still created a book and that's amazing. I've learned that writing books makes me happy, so even if I don't get any sales or get any readers, writing a book will still be a success just because I wrote it. The idea of nobody reading your book is scary, and I still get scared by it sometimes. However, there were points where I felt myself getting writer's block because I was too afraid to write something that no one would read. Which is completely counterproductive because at the end of the day, no one can read a book unless you write it. As a writer, you don't have control of who reads your book. What you can control is writing the best possible book for yourself and enjoying every step of the process. Let me know in the comments if the idea of nobody reading your book scares you. Trust me, we've all been there. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out. Also, both EUROPA and Welp Now What will be linked in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck on your writing journeys. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, I have a feeling you'll enjoy this one too.